This is another game from another person in the group. So alright, that's good. E4 is very standard. Alright, I always play the perk, so it's something that you guys should probably maybe look into a little bit. I like it a lot because it can be used against almost any opening. So especially at the lower when you don't have very much opening knowledge, it's really, you can use it against almost E4, D4, C4. The setup is pretty much the same. Now that does defend the pawn, but it blocks this pawn from moving forward. So normal development would be knight to c3 to defend the pawn, and also allow you to develop your pieces, because this piece right here may have a hard time developing. I mean, unless you go here and then move over, but it's kind of, it causes some problems, because now this pawn can't easily defend this pawn or support this pawn when this pawn advances. And this pawn can't advance because this one has to be here to develop. So it just causes a little bit of development issues. Excuse me. One second. Alright. That's you a little premature, but I understand that he's attacking, which is a good mindset. Because that helps me develop my queen. Now my queen can go anywhere up here. Normally I have to move my pawns a little bit so you can move diagonally a little bit because my pawn's blocking it. Alright. Alright. So I mean, he does have 3 pieces out, which is really good. I only have 2 pieces out. So I wouldn't say it's all that bad. It was just little stuff that is normally taught for development purposes and so forth. And he's castled early, which is good. Now I have more pawns on this side than he does, and he has more pawns on this side. So I was thinking about trying to move a pawn side attack on the queen side, just considering, because of my bishop. It has a nice diagonal. Now, if I take and he takes with his queen, it would just be. I hate that the right click's not working on this thing. I'm pushing it down. I'm wondering if it's just not. Moving this up. Yeah, since I want to advance my queenside pawns, I can advance it now with some tempo against his bishop. And if he moves here or here, I can actually move it again. But I gotta remember, I didn't do my tactics at all. My tactics zone this morning. I almost dropped this pawn here. I don't know why, but usually about a few minutes before a game, I say 15 minutes, 20 minutes, if I study tactics, I don't drop so much stuff. But for some reason, if I just go straight to playing, I do. It's just kind of weird for me. And I'm trying to be mindful of that before I make moves now. So I suggest if you have that issue like I pretty much obviously do, then that's fine. Now this is considered even point trade, is 6 for the 2 minor pieces and 6 for the rook and pawn, but the rook and pawn is, I mean the 2 minor pieces are much better than the rook and pawn, by the way. Now, I can move my knight, and the reason why I think it's fine is because his pawn cannot advance and attack it. So it'll be defending it. But that'll help me develop a little bit more, and my bishop will be more active. But I'm not sure if I want my king here or not. I don't like this square too much. Maybe, actually, you know what? It'll be better, because if I go here, I can later move my king back here, where I want it. Right now I can't because of the diagonal. So I'll go here, and then later I can move my king back here when I'm able to. That way I can safely tuck it in the corner with my pawns. Because I don't want to put it here kind of center a little bit, and then I don't have this pawn, and then there's only one pawn here, and I don't like that. So that's actually very good. So now I'm going to attack his queen and protect my knight at the same time. Because if he took this, I couldn't take it back with the pawn because I would drop the queen. So alright. I can now develop my bishop with an attack. And I'm going to do that. Get all my pieces out. He did pretty good in the beginning. He brought out pieces really fast. He castled. He hasn't developed his bishop yet, which I said would be difficult because his pawn. But he had a way with this way. He had a way to do it and bring his rook out. He sacked his active pieces. Is what he did. He came here, attacked here, and that's pretty much where some issues started to arise. Is because he sacked his active pieces. So now he has two pieces against pretty much almost all mine except for my rook. So I'm going to move back where I wanted to, because he can easily come down here and threaten my bishop. And if I kept it here, it would be pinned, and I would have lost my bishop. Okay. Attacking his pawn, which is fine. It's defended by my queen. My queen's defending it. I'm thinking about just taking his pawn right now, and later I'm bringing my rook in over here, because I can have my queen and my bishop come in to help attack. Or I can move my rook here now. I should do that first. I should move here now, and then take. That way, try to threaten his queen at the same time, limit his options. So far so good. I think he's pretty solid. There's only minor detail stuff, but he hasn't been dropping like everything, or so it's pretty good. His pieces were relatively defended pretty well. Okay, now I can move my bishop and threaten his queen at the same time. I can't really attack anything super important, so I'm just gonna go for this pawn here. Now, if he went back here and threatened my bishop, he would be able to take this pawn here back. No, he wouldn't, because my knight. I was thinking going here and trading this way, but my knight had it covered too. I was trying to think about how to cover it better, but I already have it covered better than I thought I did. I gotta be more aware of my board. My mind definitely isn't right today. That's okay. Now I'll take this other pawn. Let me double check, because I'm dropping my mind a lot. I want to say dropping pieces, I'm dropping my mind, because that's how you drop pieces. So if I take this, he will simply just take my bishop. These are things that I normally do when I train tactics before I play games, and then that way when I start playing games I get my mind into it. I can't stress that enough because once you try it, you will see the difference. Trust me, you will see the difference. If you have Puzzle Rush in chess.com, Puzzle Rush I think it's called. Yeah, Puzzle Rush. I think that's the best way to because they start off really simple and they get harder as they go, and I think it helps you look at the board. And then after that, play a couple games. And whenever you start dropping stuff, go back to it. Excuse me. Which is what I'm gonna have to do after these games. Is go back to my stuff. I'm actually pretty impressed for this game. I really can't tell if he's playing really good or if I'm playing really bad. Maybe both. But I really do think he's playing really well. Should move my pawn up and trade it. Yeah, I want to open up a little more lines. So I'm going to do that. And I'll pre-move. He will have this pawn to take, which is fine. I mean, I can call it check and take his pawn in return. It's possible to trap his bishop too by moving up one, but my bishop would be hanging if I move this up and he takes it and I take it. Because if he moves bishop here and I go up, if he takes a pawn, he takes 2 pawns, I take the bishop, then he takes my bishop, and I just simply lost 2 pawns. So if I'm going to do that, I'm going to have to, okay, he didn't take it. I would have to move my bishop somewhere first. That's decent. I was thinking about coming here and possibly calling check. I can't take his bishop if I want to. Probably should. I think I will. I have 2 bishops against his rook. Okay. Now I can safely move my king up. If his bishop was here, I couldn't move my king up because of the check. I kind of wanted to I want to move these pawns up a little bit for some reason and come into attack, but I think I'll leave it alone for now. If I move my bishop out the way, he can move his rook right here, and he has a nice attack against my king and queen. So as much as I want to move my bishop, it'd probably be really bad for me. Unless I move it here, it'll cover the square and it'll attack the queen. So I'm gonna do that. I kind of want to move out the way because I didn't want him piling up on it, and I didn't want to pile up on the defense and then have all my pieces on passive mode. So it's good to find ways not to make all your pieces passive, because that would have happened if I decided to pile up my defense against the bishop. That's pretty good. Just attacking my rook. He's playing aggressive, which is actually what you're supposed to do, which is nice. Let's move in. I guess a few things threw me off, especially the right clicking thing. I was messing with that for a long time. but but I gotta find faster ways to get my head in the game. Because I can't be doing that. Like, what if something was distracting me or bothering me in a real tournament, or something that was going on, or I have to learn not to do that, because that can really if that stuff happens to me too much, that can really affect my ratings. So it's something I have to learn to do. Okay, I can take it. I don't see any reason why I can't. And if he calls check with his queen, I can bring it back. I don't see why I can't take it. So I'm going to go right ahead. Let me double check everything. Okay, I don't see any forks or anything, or any type of pins. That was a nice idea. He could have supported it first with something, maybe a pawn move, because his queen was defending it. Like, very possible to move this up first, because queen was defending it, then move down, and kind of forcing him, to a worse square at some point. Go down. My time's kind of low, so I should pay attention to my time. I'm attacking the pawn too, not just the queen. So he has to defend his pawn, either here or here, or defend the pawn. This square or this square. He can take here too, if you wanted. He didn't have to defend the pawn, he can take a pawn. Okay, he's attacking the rook. I'm just gonna go ahead. I don't have much time, so I'm just gonna go ahead. Alright. Bishop doesn't have many squares. I'm thinking about going here, because I really do want to start attacking. And I can my queen up maybe, but I don't want to get checked. Okay, he can't check me. Alright, I don't want to get checked and lose my pieces because they're hanging. I'm trying to be a little extra careful, because I've noticed my mind's been slipping a bit in the tactics department, so I'm trying to pay a little more attention and play a little bit more safe than normal because of that. Okay, that's fine. Now I have some type of ray against the king, bishop, a battery. So that's queen, bishop, battery. Ray is a certain type of tactic, I think. I gotta figure that out now. I don't want to give you guys bad terms and be all wrong and stuff. Alright, so I have 3 pieces against that. I'm gonna call check. I want to move a bishop here, but I can't because of the rook. Okay, I can take with the queen. And then I can move my bishop in. Alright, was actually a really good game. So I'll do a rematch. Hopefully I didn't do too bad. Okay. That means he played excellent. If I had 0 blunders and 0 all that, he played excellent that game. Just another one. I always play e4, knight f3 in the videos. Sometimes when I'm by myself, I just play d3 and do the perk as white. So he plays that. I'm going to see which one he wants to capture if he does. I like the dynamics in the gambit. It's like really, but I never get it. I always go for it. No one plays it. Okay, I get to def. This is not a very good check, because it helps me. I get to block it with a pawn, and it helps me with my structure. It usually helps me out if someone calls check in that way very quickly. Now I can take this pawn. It's defended by my knight, so he has to move. Excuse me. Alright, I'll take. So I'm realizing the perk is actually very good. They actually have a lot of better chances when I do play the perk. So maybe playing the perk would be. I wonder how they would do if they played the perk. Me playing it gives them a lot of chances to develop and everything. I've noticed that there's a huge difference in how the game turn out when I play the perk versus when I play an aggressive opening. So me playing the perk against them is good for them, I think. Excuse me. Alright, so he's attacking again with 2 pieces, like last time. Yeah, you definitely want to build up an attack. You don't want to attack right away. I mean, you do want to attack, obviously, be aggressive, but you want to develop as well. Like last time, the queenside pieces weren't really developed, and this time, you're attacking without your queenside being developed again. Attacking is fine, but as long as you're also developing. Like me, I kind of attack a little bit, but I kind of retreated a bit, and I'm also trying to develop at the same time. I mean, I can just move my pawn up one. Excuse me. I'll just move my knight over here, attacking the queen. Thinking about doing that. Thinking about being more aggressive. Because if I go here, both of my bishops are taking control of all these squares. And then his queen can't defend his bishop. But he can go here and attack my pawn. Yeah, it'd be bad for me. If I go here, he moves over here one, he'd be taking the pawn and the knight. And I would have to move my knight back. And then he had to move his bishop somewhere. Or he moves his queen back. I want to see. Now I'm more than curious. If he goes here, I would have to move my knight back. And then I'm wondering if he'll go back here and try for a draw or force me to move another piece. Because in truth, if I have no idea what I'm doing, and I have to go back and forth if I don't find a defense. That would be a draw. Which I know I can just move this up one. Okay. Now I can take this, but if I do, I expect him to take my pawn. Then I can take the knight, because the knight's hanging after that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And the reason why I'm okay with this is simply because the only piece he'll have near my king is his queen. And you can't checkmate with one piece by itself. So I don't really have to really calculate and determine if it's safe or not, because I already know that it's safe. I can run knight back here. So he's attacking it and it's defending the king pretty well. Alright. Excuse me. Alright, so how do I want to develop? I'm gonna go here. I know his knight can't go here because it's pawn, but he can come up here to try to come in here or here. But my bishop has those squares covered, so I'm not concerned about it. I just know not to my bishop because of his knight trying to come in. I'm thinking about trying to attack the queen. I'm not entirely sure if I can trap it. If I go here, he has one square. If I go here afterward, he can escape. If I go here first, then here, he can go here or somewhere on this line. So I don't see a way to actually trap the queen. If I have my knight up here, I'll be attacking the queen. He'll probably call it check. No, he won't, because my bishops. So if I go up one, Alright, so cat traps itself in a big box. That was kind of funny. Alright, back to the game. Yes, cat trapped itself in box. Back. Alright, so I'm thinking about moving my, maybe I should move king over one. No, because that'll put me back here. I'm going over here. I want to attack the queen, to be honest. I really do. I think I'm too preoccupied with it. So I'm going to just move this up one. Yeah, I'm just going to, I don't even know what I want to do. I'm going to attack his knight. I kind of want to get rid of his pieces. Since I'm already up a piece, well, I'm up two pieces, but he's up two pawns. It's probably better to just trade pieces. That way he can't attack me. Because I mean, my king is vulnerable, but I have too many pieces. So it's like, I can sack a piece if I need to, but I think it'd be better if I just start doing that and being more aggressive. Either force him to move his knight out of there or trade, which I'm just going to trade. So that should be fine. So, alright, let's see if I can just get him to trade off his pieces, which would be bad for him. He should probably find a way to be aggressive with his pieces. Trading them off means I'll probably just win since I'm up more material. I don't know if he knows about that chess principle, but when you're up in material, you want to trade. When you're down in material, you don't want to trade. His best bet would be, okay, I'll take it. His best bet would be to attack my pawns and try to get my pawns. That way, it'll be his pieces and pawns versus my pieces, and he can try to queen. That's what I would normally do in a situation like that. Excuse me. Okay, I'm gonna take that. So now he only has a queen. He can't really checkmate with a queen by itself, like I said before. So he needs his pawns. So right now, I'm just gonna go for his pawns, and yeah, I can go for that. It's fine. I was wondering if he can somehow attack both, but my queen has that protected, so it's fine. Alright. Centralized queen. Take more pawns. If he lets me. Or trade queens. Either way is good for me. I don't know how to do a checkmate with rook and I'm not with knight and bishop together by itself. I know it's possible. I've learned that there's like some weird method that involves like the bishop being here and the knight being here and going up the board a certain way. But it was really weird. Definitely not something I'm interested in. Okay, I seen that last round and then I moved it and then I seen it last round. Then I move it, which means now he can't attack both. So definitely good eye for him. I'm gonna call it check. Ooh, I dropped my queen. Alright, that's perfectly fine. Alright, well, we both missed it. Yeah, definitely dropping pieces. I almost dropped that piece. Like all that knowledge that I was trying to explain and it's all gone. If he took my queen, let's say he won, it all really doesn't mean much of anything. So dropping pieces are super bad, and I basically dropped that. Alright, that was a good game. I made one blunder that game. I guess I can do one more. So I've been playing exceptionally well past 2 games, but I'm gonna do this again. I noticed that his opening is not really great, but when I do this, it ties in together because I'm doing a very slow build-up. Alright. I'm thinking about taking it, but he can call check. And if I take it, he can call check and maybe bring the queen in. Oh, his knight's here, so it's not like I can go here, him take, me go here, the queen call check, and okay, I'll just take it. It seems a little off, risky to me, but I think I'll be fine. It's not something I like to do usually, putting myself in that situation, but it's gonna slow down my development for a pawn. So I have to be mindful because he does like to attack. So I'll defend, like I can move this one actually to defend. My queen is defending the pawn, so it's perfectly fine. And you can't checkmate with one piece by itself, so since I cut this line off, I'm safe. So, but I'm glad he's aggressive, and I'm glad he looks for threats, and I'm glad that he plays pretty solid for the most part. It's actually pretty good. I think one of the main factors possibly is just learning chess principles. I think his tactics are pretty okay, and you do defend pretty well, and you don't drop a lot of pieces, you know. So if you just simply learn chess principles, I think you'd be really great. I mean, last game I had only one blunder, and the one before that none, and it was long games. It was pretty long, so I do think he does really well. Oh, oh my! I just didn't realize the time. The kids are gonna be coming home from school pretty soon. Let me see. He took a pawn. Okay. If I take it, I can take it. Okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't realize that they were. I'm gonna castle. You know what? He's attacking this piece here too. So if I castle, he takes this, and I take it, and he takes it with his queen. I can move my rook, my knight, so it's fine. Here I am. I'm spelling it wrong. Don't know how to spell it properly. That's okay. I think if you haven't learned them, if he does learn about them, his game could probably be very good. Alright, I'm gonna move my rook over and get ready to move my pawn up. Okay. I mean double. When I say double, I mean double quickly. Yeah. I can't share my videos on live and stuff, so I don't have enough subscribers. Which I'm actually pretty sad about. I had a group and I posted about lessons, and over 200 people wanted to do them. Like, I have my group and I talk and try to teach them stuff. And, well, the thing is just so many people wanted to join. And I'm like, well, if you subscribe, I can do it for live. And, you know, no one wanted to subscribe. And I'm like, okay, well, you want free lessons, but you don't want to subscribe. It was pretty sad. But I decided to continue the group anyways. They're pretty active, and most of the people who were that wanted to join that didn't, because of all that. It didn't turn out to be anything. And I missed this right here. I was thinking too much about other stuff, but that's fine. Yeah. Excuse me. It's just kind of, like I said, it's kind of sad. But I'll get started anyways, and I'll still do it. And even though that was the case, I got like maybe 30 something people who did subscribe, so it was pretty cool. So even though there was like over 200 people who wanted to join and most of them didn't really want to, it's like there was enough that did, that makes me feel like it was worth pushing and doing. And I still will do them for free, and I still will push it. And then once I get my 1,000, I'm gonna try my best just to continue not worry about it too much, because I've it's completely for free to subscribe, so it's not, you know, not gonna hurt anybody. But that's okay though. But I'm thinking too much about that instead of the game. Alright, so I'll move up one. If he takes, I take, he can go here, I'll take this. So that means if I go up, he takes, I take, he moves his queen somewhere, which is what he needs to do. Where would he move his queen? Wherever he moves his queen, this is defended. I can move the pawn up one. So I feel relatively safe. It's a little risky having the queen and just together attacking me. So I kind of want to get rid of it. I might move my rook up one or to the side, depending on what I think is better after his move. No, there's the bus, school bus. I normally try to stream before they come. That's why I have a certain time period. Now, if I take this here and he takes this and I take, we can trade off all the attacking pieces, which will make me safe. So I'm all for trading all my attacking pieces. I mean, all his attacking pieces. Now he's attacking this here, so this will defend this, and they're all defending each other, so it's fine. He actually sees good tactics and stuff, and he comes in and he attacks right away. He's aggressive, so yeah. Once he gets his chess principles down, I think he'd be pretty solid. So I'll have, maybe he'll be the first person in my group to reach over 1,000 after joining. thought that was the bus. Maybe that's not the bus. That does not sound like a bus I want my kids on if it is a bus. Alright, move out the way. Because he only has one bishop and it's dark, if my king stays on light squares, I don't have to worry about very many pins or x-rays. So if I go over here, I'll be attacking. I kind of want to keep my knights. So how would I continue here? I have 2 rooks, he has 2 rooks, I have 2 knights, he has 1 bishop. Do I trade one for the bishop or do I keep them both? I'm gonna push my pawn. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna push my pawn and push it and push it and push it. And mess this up over here. I want to mess this whole thing up over here and then come in and take everything else. That's what I want to do. So he wants to trade, which is fine. It was fine for me, not for him. And that's why he needs to learn chess principles and the, basic stuff that is important. You don't want to trade when you're down pieces, because now if I trade both rooks and you're both rooks, I have a knight and pawns versus pawns, and I should be able to win. Fairly easy. So, but he has good attacks. He has pretty good tactics and stuff. He doesn't leave his pieces undefended very often. So, I really think he's gonna be doing really well pretty soon. That's how old he is, if he doesn't mind. Attacking my knight. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna try to do this. It's 24. Alright, that's cool. Maybe in 10 years he can be an expert. I'm gonna be maybe sooner, depending. I'm trying to be let's go. Let's go. 24, that's cool. I'm like 34. I learned chess late, but I do want to be at least candidate master within 2-3 years from now. And I'm starting to teach a little bit to help me understand what I need to learn, and maybe when I am doing stuff, noticing things I'm doing wrong, and therefore in the future try to get myself better as well. So this is also good for me. Alright, and one of the chess principles is keep your rooks behind your pawn when you're trying to push. So I'm going to push it, and then after I push it, he might move his king in, my king in, and this is where the extra piece comes into play. Now if my knight here and here, I can't attack. So if I go here, 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 how would I need to attack this is by being on one of these 2 squares, by being here. How do I get here? There's a way to get there. If I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I keep checking because I don't want to mess it up. Three, 4. Nope. 3. Wait, did I mess up already? I think I messed it up already. No, I didn't. I can go here, here, and then one here, here. Okay. This is a square I wanted to get to. Now I can move the queen up so he has to block it with his rook. And then next move I can That was one thing I learned. You got to count backwards with your spaces, which is another chess principle I learned. So I'm actually pretty happy I get to share some of this with him. Yeah, his tactics seem fine. Like I said, the only problems he had was the chess principles, which led me to win. So if he learns them better than I do, he'll probably be better than I am. So, or if he learns them the same much as I have, he'll probably be better than I am, maybe. Now, if I go here, that'll be check, but he can go here. And then if he goes here, I have no other moves. I'm going to block him in with my king, and then call it checkmate with my rook. If I can. Go here. I go up one, he goes up one. I call it check, he goes down one. That's not checkmate. Okay, I was gonna maybe go here with a check and to go around. Alright. I gotta go. Alright, good games. I gotta go. And I'm sorry I can't do this and record. This really sucks. He probably was waiting the whole time. Alright.